Good morning, everyone, or afternoon, depending on where you are in the United States or abroad as well. It is 1 p.m. here on the East Coast, so with that being said, I would like to thank everyone for joining today's webinar regarding social marketing and engagement 101. So today we're going to be discussing the importance and benefits of social media marketing and demonstrate Inbox 25 Social Connect platform as a means to facilitate your social marketing goals. But before we jump in, we just have a brief general housekeeping to go over. So if you have any questions during the webinar, please feel free to ask them in the GoToWebinar chat bar below. We're going to have a brief Q&A at the end of the webinar where I'll be answering as many questions as I can. Any questions I am not able to get to, I will certainly go over in a follow-up email after the webinar has ended. And remember, this webinar, along with all of our other webinars, are recorded and are placed on our knowledge base and YouTube channel at youtube.com/inbox25tube. There's quite a collection of webinars over the past 2 years that we have collected over on YouTube. So if you have not gotten a chance to watch all of them or view them, I highly recommend doing so. And just to reiterate, this is one of 5 webinars in our upcoming 2016 series. Our next one up is going to dive into drip campaigns, which will be held this Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern. I highly suggest joining that one, as that provides benefits for every single Inbox 25 user, no matter what kind of digital strategy you guys are employing with the system. And finally, remember to follow us on Twitter at Inbox25 to get everything up-to-date inbox. We routinely post Inbox 25 updates, new content added to the knowledge base, as well as any relevant articles pertaining to the world of marketing automation and CRM. There's a lot of very neat content inserted on our Twitter pages. So now that our general housekeeping is out of the way, I want to jump right into today's presentation. So let me just minimize this here. Okay, fantastic. So the big question of the day, the reason why we're all joined here, is to figure out what are the benefits of social media marketing. Why be social? Now, when you think of the crux of digital marketing, it incorporates a wealth of different mediums. And the social media space recently has become an integral part of most modern marketing strategies. Social media marketing provides a powerful channel to cultivate lead client relationships, increase brand awareness, and promote a very strong sense of personality to your business. The key word I want to get across here is going to be transparency. Social media is a phenomenal way to build confidence and community with your business. In an age of increased automation technology, we think of social media as creating a safe haven of refreshing and personal interaction. It also adds a humanizing element to your business, similar to the way that you have with phone and email, but with social media, you're cast in a public forum. And a great example to this is going to look at social media as a great intermediary support center, as responses are quick, concise, and it allows your company to handle customer support in a public space. The idea being this public space invites prospects to view actual client interactions in a way that should entice and comfort leads, knowing real communication is just a few clicks away. With social networks, you also routinely see increased engagement and brand awareness. Social media allows the ability to connect information to people in ways absent with other standard digital channels. The sheer scope and user base of social applications gives marketers the ability to touch and share and spread information immediately along with multiple touch points. And a strong social presence usually builds confidence amongst existing clients and increased accessibility into your business and prospecting leads. And then when it comes to our daily lives, we think of social media as the new norm for things like news, current events, and just general browsing for topics of interest. With all the time that we spend on social media, the influence on your posts can be far beyond just your interested community. There's such a large scope and audience to be found on social media. And then finally, social media complements your existing digital channels, and it does it quite well. You can take, for example, ideas like web presence. With the emergence of social media as a powerful digital channel, ideas like SEO rely heavily on a strong social presence when compiling its rankings. You want your website to be at the forefront of search terms that pertain to your specific business. Stronger brands almost always have a defined social presence, which sends signals of legitimacy and credibility amongst the social landscape. And as a business, you want to be synonymous with the words legitimate and credible. So now we're going to look at your target audience, or who your audience is specifically on social. If what we've discussed so far is not enough to convince you of social marketing, I'd like to take a deeper dive into specific social marketing analytics. So following up from our previous points, the use and time spent on social media applications has grown exponentially over the past 10 years. And I'd like you guys to refer to the graph for that one. A recent Pew Research study found that social media usage has tripled to among 75% among all adults, all of whom are accessing and consuming some form of social media, some form of digital communication. And honestly, on this current trajectory, just looking at this chart here, while not mathematically possible, it really does look like in the next few years we could break the 100% mark. Now I want to refer to the actual time spent on social networks and also online in general. How much of our lives are really dedicated to our phones and computers? Well, as of 2014, the time spent browsing and consuming social media is a bit less than 2 hours per day. But combine that, users spend on average about 40% of their time online browsing either social media applications or consuming some type of media, whether on your news outlet exposed to advertisements or whether you're on a blogging site reading articles pertaining to your interests. The point being here, folks, is the scope and audience of social media is absolutely unparalleled in the digital marketing landscape. Nowhere else can you find this level of potential, and realistically is a free platform. Most social media applications are free, so in this case you're getting all of this exposure in really a very low cost tool. Now that we understand the potential of social media, what are going to be the first steps? How can we get started with our social media marketing in the context of using Inbox 25? Well, first and foremost, social media relies very heavily on engagement. Building a social following is not something that's going to happen overnight. It's not an overnight process. But as businesses with a solidified base of consumers like you all are, marketing and engaging with current clients is a perfect place to start. Reaching out to your current client base is a great way to spark up conversation and bring a personal element to your business. Start exposing yourselves to people you're familiar with, and then from there your network base can grow. But it's very important to not forget members of your team to incorporate within your social marketing. Inviting members of your team to engage in social media adds an additional level of personalization to your business and also allows your social profiles to develop its own style and personality. Your company is only as good as the members of your team, so incorporating them within your social media marketing is a powerful way to increase exposure. And also, of course, your team members provide powerful industry insight, which can then be used as sustained content for your social pages. You really want your social pages to develop a community and to have a collaborative effort, including not only leads and customers, but also your sales reps and also the rest of your team as well. Social media also relies very heavily on actual dialogue and not just simply posting a few times per week. Reaching out to members in your community, engaging with thought leaders in your industry, and creating dialogue allows your page to reach new audiences and grow your profile in the process. But above all of what I've just mentioned, at the end of the day, content is going to be your key factor. You want to provide beneficial and relevant content to your audiences that will keep them following you for the long term. And you want sustained engagement within social media marketing as you want to be building a community. We'll discuss a bit later in the slide deck a real-life example and various content sources that we're going to be using for a case study. But ideally, you want to provide content on social media that is not necessarily going to be found on your other digital channels. You want to give your consumers a reason to follow you. You want some kind of specific content that's relevant and only posted on social media to allow members to really see the benefit of why they should follow you. So what we have here now is our checklist for beginners, kind of going through the lists of building up a social media marketing profile and what do those key steps involve. And honestly, knowing where to start with social media marketing will help you to continue going on the right trajectory. And no one knows businesses like you do, or no one knows your target businesses like you do. You'll have the industry insight above all to know who to target with your social content and the relevancy of the content you post. In addition, as a useful aid, social platforms do allow the use of hashtags or keywords that group together posts based on specific words. For example, Inbox 25 is a marketing automation platform. So when we post on our social platforms, it's always a good idea to include relevant hashtags. One of those can be marketing automation. What this does is when users are searching for relevant terms, say for marketing automation news, our post, due to the hashtag being present, will pop up along with all of the other posts with the same hashtag involved. So it's a great way to expose yourself to a very targeted community within social, as we know the landscape is quite large. It's also very important, though, to be mindful on the limits of hashtags. You really want to stick to hashtags that are relevant, and you generally don't want to have a post that is nothing but hashtags. Keep it clean and be intelligent and be smart with your use of hashtags, and only include things relevant to your posts. Once you've defined your target audience, the next thing you want to do is start building up some content. And identical to other digital channels, promoting a CTA, your call of action, or an incentive is really key for engagement on social media. Things like white papers, events, ebooks, forms containing relevant content all make very powerful CTAs and increase engagement across all of your social profiles. You want to mimic some of the tools you're doing with your current digital strategy and emulate that within your social marketing strategy. A good idea as well is forcing your users to convert on a form or page that can more accurately track your interest and engagement level with your social posts. It's one thing to promote a white paper on social that just has a direct link to the white paper. It's a whole nother ballgame to actually track that white paper being hidden behind a form that a lead has to fill out. Now you have some tangible data on that person. You can then contact them pertaining to the specific interest they had with your business, in that case, the white paper. So once your content is created, then it's time for the scheduling and publishing. So developing a social schedule is really critical, as on social media, consistency is key. You want to keep users engaged. Sporadic posting often leads to forgetful profiles, as you want your users to be able to expect your posts at a certain time of day or a certain day. You don't want to leave your users guessing. And as we'll see later in our Social Connect demo, Social Connect can aid in this process by helping you streamline your delivery schedule with the ability to set timed and intervaled posts, which is going to be crucial to organizing your social strategy. And as always, and I'm going to harp on this a lot, always be developing and creating new content in order to maintain your predefined delivery schedule. And of course, reposting others' content is a great way to also gain exposure and also promote others' content that's relevant to your industry field as well. So there's a lot of options. It's not just all homegrown content. You can be sharing other content relevant to your business as well. Now we're brought to the multiplier effect, and this is really when you get into social amplification and one of the major benefits when it comes to social media marketing. It's not good to think of your social audience as just limited to your immediate network, maybe the people that directly follow you or the people that you directly follow. It's good to think of your social network as something like a tree. And what I mean by this is touching your immediate base represents your trunk. So when you send out a post, the people that are immediately going to see your content are going to be the ones that are following you on your social networks. But from that trunk, from that immediate network, is the possibility of endless amounts of branches to form. Your network base can dramatically expand when content is shared and spread amongst the social landscape. Because really, at the end of the day, social media is simply about digital connection. And with all this emphasis placed on human interaction, the potential for sharing and reposting opens the door for a much larger scope of audience. You want to promote your content on social media, but the idea is you want to also expose yourself to the network of your immediate network base. It really is like a tree of branches, and this graph is a great representation of that, of your business being the little pink icon there. You're spreading it to your immediate network, which would be the blue icons, and then that network is spreading it to their network, and so on and so forth. You're really getting free exposure at, once again, a very low cost or free price. So social media is not just used for amplifying your own or amplifying on social channels. It's also a fantastic tool to amplify your other digital channels, not exclusively just on social. And you can think of ideas, or you can think of PPC campaigns, which often have a redirect to a form with a defined call to action. The idea being you want users to convert on some type of form to gather information. And in this case, interested parties converting then share your form on their social media channels. So not only are you getting free press, but any subsequent conversions from that shared post can bring down your cost per lead and increase exposure on your social channels. You want to think of relevant and beneficial content that's going to aid in users promoting that content across their social networks. And in this specific example, this free increased exposure could allow more resources to be allocated for PPC and other ad spend, if we're going to stick to our PPC results here. And going along with our other digital campaigns here, email campaigns, website, blog articles, social redirects should always be present on all digital communication. Social buttons within email campaigns, websites, blogs are all common places to promote social media. It's a very simple approach that allows you to gain traction and awareness on your social pages. So you should always be, anytime you're sending an outbound email communication from inbox 25, anytime someone browses your website, they should always have exposure to links directly back to your social channels. And we'll be discussing more about that during our live demonstration as well. So we've discussed up until this point social media marketing, the benefits, the reasons why you want to use it. And it sounds to be very simple, but there are a few challenges that businesses run into that I want to address today before we jump into our live demonstration. And we'll also get into how Social Connect can help alleviate these problems. When you think of social media from an ROI perspective, it is a very cost-effective digital solution. Most social platforms are free to use, and the companies adopt social as an additional tool in their marketing arsenal. And for good reason, as we've been discussing. But it's this exact thinking that has really led to a space that is now fairly saturated and proves difficult to gain exposure, which is why in social media, you really want to go in there with a defined strategy and the tools necessary to analyze that strategy's effectiveness. The first issue a lot of companies run into is going to be the lack of organization and management. When you think of Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and other social profiles as well, they're their own separate applications. And as such, they can't natively run together. They remain separate entities. So managing social profiles or multiple social profiles is very difficult as you have different browser configurations, different tabs up, and you can't analyze or centralize any of that data into one hub. Going along with that, you have disconnected digital mediums. The key word I really want to get across here is going to be cohesion. A successful digital strategy is one that is shaped around a healthy database. You want a healthy database to market your leads or to market to. But there's often a disconnect between your social following and the engagements on your digital marketing platform and your current marketing database. You have to sort of think, how efficient can your social marketing be when it runs independent of your other digital marketing vehicles? Not very efficient. How do we know if social engagements are being tied into my outbound email campaigns or maybe my website traffic? With your standard applications, your standard social applications, you can't find that out. Once again, going along and piggybacking off of that, you have disorganized analytics. Native social applications are fantastic for gaining information into the public space or getting information into the public space, but they do lack the interface and analytics and insight necessary for marketing purposes. Social marketing can be an invaluable tool for lead generation, lead nurturing, spreading brand awareness, and also customer support. But without the analytics or data tracking, how can you possibly tell what's working? You probably can't in this instance. When you bring your social marketing program into the fold with your marketing automation platform, and that's what Social Connect is really designed to do, you gain access to a bounty of data and analytics that can help measure the effectiveness of your social marketing, including ROI, which is really the key factor here in using any third-party marketing application. Now I want to get into a little bit more specifics when it comes to Social Connect. The biggest thing you're going to see with Social Connect is it allows a centralized hub. With Social Connect 2.0, you can manage all of your social media profiles from one complete interface to increase efficiency and also maximize your marketing efforts. You can post to Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn with multiple profiles with one single post action. What we're doing here is we're simplifying the demands of a marketing manager by bringing more inbound and outbound marketing management tasks under the umbrella of one platform. So not only are you managing your email campaigns, you're managing your website traffic, your lead generation, you're now managing your social interactions as well directly through Inbox 25. Listening and engaging, and we do this in the form of what is called social streams. Social streams in the system, and there's a screenshot right down below there, which we'll also discuss during our demo, is you can follow all of your published posts, your comments, your mentions, your retweets, your new follows, your likes, all from one single panel. Very powerful tool. This is typically referred to in the social landscape as social monitoring. And once again, it's all from a single view. Users, marketing managers can filter their streams by keywords or specific activities. This is especially helpful if you want to quickly parse what your followers are saying in the form of a keyword search, which is also visible on that screenshot as well. And it really allows you to understand your database, understand the interactions you're getting, and then managing those interactions under one panel. So last but not least here, before we jump into our live demonstration, I want to go into a practical application of taking what we've discussed strategy-wise and theory-wise into the norm or into real life. And we're going to do that today during the demonstration by taking a company called Launchpad. That's going to be our case study today. So Launchpad is a New York-based co-working and startup space who uses Social Connect to manage all of their social media interactions in the system. We'll be using Launchpad as our base to explore and explain the various features of our Social Connect platform as a means to facilitate your social engagement and also your social growth as well. Just to give you a little background on co-working for you guys, really as the demand for co-working space dramatically increases in New York, social media plays a key role for Launchpads in keeping up with the latest industry trends and creating a portal for the Launchpads community to interact and communicate virtually. And during the live demonstration, what we're going to be doing is using Launchpads and its specific use of Social Connect for organizing their digital strategy and identifying and interacting with tangible leads for their business. So that is going to do it here for our little slide deck. What I want to do now is jump into the live demonstration where we'll be using Launchpad as our base and breaking down all of the key functions that Social Connect can be utilized with for your business. So we're going to map back over now, and I'm going to minimize my screen here. We're going to map back over to our specific browser where we can log into Inbox 25 and go to our Social Connect dashboard. Awesome. Okay, so you see we're greeted with our Social Connect dashboard, which is probably familiar to most users on the webinar. Now, if you've noticed, since our V5 release, Inbox 25 dashboard UI has changed quite a bit, the top dashboard there. On the top left, we've added a whole new social tab which is going to allow you to access all major features of the Social Connect platform. So sticking with our Launchpads example, let's jump into the Social Connect dashboard and explore some of the functions involved with that. So I'm going to go over to my social snapshot here, and we're brought to our Social Connect dashboard. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do when using Social Connect is, of course, to connect your social profiles. Social Connect integrates with Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn with absolutely no cap limit on the amount of profiles you can connect. So you can connect as many social profiles as you want across all three of those social applications. Selecting My Profiles on the top right of the dashboard here will allow you to connect new profiles and manage existing profiles. One thing, though, to keep in mind is that Facebook company pages are natively managed through personal profiles. So you'll need to connect a personal profile in order to access your company page. And as a small tip, a small tidbit, if you don't feel comfortable connecting your personal profile, you can also create, a good idea is to create a dummy personal profile, allow admin access to that personal profile on your company page, and then connect that company page or that dummy page to our system. We'll then allow you to connect your company page. You can see here under each Facebook profile, we have one managed page, which is going to be the Launchpad's company page here. So now that our social profiles are connected, let's discuss some best practices and strategies when using Launchpads or as using Launchpads as our base. So when implementing a social strategy, you'll need to define the types of content you'll of course be posting. And built into Social Connect are what we call social campaigns, if you reference the screen here. And what social campaigns are is they represent umbrellas or folders of content used to organize your content into specific categories. What this does, this allows the user to manage and analyze their content as separate entities so you can better understand content that's hard-hitting, content that's engaging, and on the flip side, you can also engage content that's fallen flat. As a co-working space, Launchpads houses a very large community of entrepreneurs, startups, freelancers, all working in a very fast-paced environment and a constantly changing environment. So, the immediacy and wide scope of social media puts Launchpads in a very ideal position to reach their target audience, which is amplified through their use of hashtags and related keywords, as we discussed before. So what Social Connect has allowed Launchpads to do is to define a series of processes in social organization that we're going to be discussing and breaking down right now via the different social campaigns that Launchpads has set up. So running through a few of these social campaigns here, the first one up is going to be office space and pod availability. Now, in the context of Launchpads, due to the catering to a constantly changing environment, office space availability is of top priority, and the speed at which social media allows the connection of information puts Launchpads at an advantage for promoting new space quicker than those companies still stuck on something like basic email marketing. Then we have industry news and trends, industry articles. Within social, keeping up with the world of co-working shows an active interest and engagement with the industry they're currently in. And displaying the growth of the industry helps entice hesitant adopters and helps promote them as thought leaders within the industry and on their different social applications. And then for Launchpads, another very important type of content is going to be local business news. Co-working, as we mentioned before, revolves heavily around building a community, and that community is usually localized around the area the space resides in. So channeling local business news relevant to co-working members helps stimulate the benefits of co-working as a community of collaborators and help spread that community amongst others. And then last but not least here, we have Launchpads updates. Launchpads, of course, often host community events for its members, which are quickly and easily promoted on social media. The space is constantly evolving and growing, and social media provides an ideal outlet for them to keep members informed on the progress and changes that's happening to the space. So when you think of social campaigns, it's going to be important to think of them as specific categories or types of content you're posting. Common ones for a lot of people are going to be things like blog posts, weekly updates, special promotions. You want to think really strategically about types of content you're going to be posting and then organize that into social campaigns. Because what you find may happen without an organizational structure like this is you may be posting sort of very willy-nilly, and it's very difficult to discern whether one type of content is experiencing a high level of engagement than another one. So the social campaigns are there to help alleviate that process. So you see here we have our different social campaigns. And within social campaigns, you attach individual posts. So if I click on pod availability here, or if I click on industry articles rather, click on industry articles, you can see here that we can drill down to an individual post level. I can see my Facebook likes, my Facebook comments, my Twitter mentions, my total clicks on that post, and also my conversions, which we'll get into in a bit. And this is if you want to drill down to the specific level. What's also very nice, and back to my point but previously, was that if you wanted to view social campaigns as a whole, I can see this industry article social campaign has 8 live posts, and I can see all of the cumulative statistics that encompass all of those 8 posts underneath it. So with Social Connect, what we're really doing here is we're centralizing all of your social engagements by housing all of your data under one single roof. Your social snapshot, which you're seeing here, will display all of your collective Facebook likes, your Facebook comments, your Twitter retweets, new followers, Twitter mentions, URL clicks, and conversions. And what I want to do now is we've mentioned conversions twice, and I want to dive into specifically what this conversion metric means. When we think of social media, we think of social media as a very powerful tool for lead generation, naturally due to its large and diverse audience. But as we mentioned before, there is often a disconnect between your social engagements and your broader marketing strategy. Social media provides a great resource to post relevant CTAs to your network. And within the Social Connect platform, what we allow you to do is to embed Inbox 25 forms, Inbox 25 landing pages into your social posts. And when a lead lands on and converts on that form, as a result of that social post, we'll not only create the record and record the conversion, but we'll also mark the record's lead source within Inbox 25 and within Sugar CRM with either Twitter or Facebook. And if that wasn't enough, we'll also mark this record's complete lead source history within their Inbox 25 timeline report, detailing out the specific social click, the specific landing page visit, and also the conversion and when that was recorded. So if I click on this little 1 icon here, you can see we have 1 conversion. What we're doing is we're condensing all records created from Social Connect within a neat, intuitive report here. So you'll be able to see by the month, by the day, by the week, by the year, how many records were created in your system via Social Connect or via your social media marketing, to start giving you some tangible analytics to say social media is actually generating new business for my company. And we've mentioned before that managing Social Connect is critical, or managing social content is critical. But we've also seen during our slide deck that human interaction and conversations really bring the benefit of social media full circle. Navigating through native Twitter and Facebook timelines, I think, is very challenging due to what I like to call information overload. You're inundated with shared posts from your neighbor, retweeted pictures of cats. It's very disorganized and cluttered, and it makes a very hard time for a marketing manager to go in there and only interact with information relevant to them. To alleviate this concern or this issue, what we have built into Social Connect is going to be called social streams, and we did allude to that before on our slide deck. So you can see here on the top, we have a Twitter stream and we have a Facebook stream. I'm going to focus today on our Twitter stream. So what the Twitter stream is designed to do is it's designed to provide a real-time visual display of all of your social activity through Facebook and Twitter. And social streams only concern themselves with social activity directly targeted towards your profiles. So we've removed all of the fluff and the clutter, all of the endless retweets and likes that don't have any relevancy to your business, and we're providing you an easy-to-view, organized timeline with a wealth of built-in functionality to make your social marketing experience a lot more intuitive. In the case of your social stream, you're only going to see direct interactions with your profile. in the form of mentions, new follows, retweets, and conversations from the social post that you have within Inbox 25. In this example, if we take a sample company here, so we take Avada Companies. I can see 20 hours ago, Avada Companies is now following Launchpads on Twitter. So if I hover over this footstep icon, it says follow Avada Companies back. I can instantaneously click on this footstep icon, and I am now following Avada Companies. I'm now following Avada Companies back on my Twitter page. If I wanted to select this little green icon, this little orange icon here, I click on this and immediately respond back to Launchpads or Avada Companies, thanking them for the new follow. So it's allowing you to manage all of your engagements through one panel. I don't have to go through Twitter to manage all of my engagements that are on Twitter. If we go back to our social stream here, you'll notice a green bar next to Avada's profile. What this green bar means is that we have an unread conversation that needs to be addressed. And it represents a visual cue to help you analyze and organize your conversations. So if I select here the small little 2 icon, what it's going to do is going to greet me with a full conversation history and the ability to continue my engagement. So I can see here Avada Companies asked a question regarding new space in the co-working space for Launchpads. And they proceeded to have a conversation that's all being logged directly through Social Connect. And I can like the specific tweet, and I can also respond back. So I can respond back as the user and post a reply directly back to Twitter targeting the Avada Companies. And I can manage all my conversations through one screen here. Fantastic. So when we also talk about social media, a consistent theme that we run into is going to be the disconnect between social media marketing or social fans and the records held within your marketing database. What we have built into Social Connect is the idea and the functionality to bridge the gap, connecting your social fans' interactions and engagements to your existing marketing database. You have to think, what good are all of these conversations if they can't be reflected within your current database? How can you possibly translate these social interactions to your sales team? How can you share that around to marketing? The idea being, with native social applications, you can. Within your social stream, if you did recognize a profile as existing in your CRM database, maybe they're a new lead or recent lead, or they're a current client, what Social Connect allows you to do is to seamlessly connect their social engagement profile, so their profile has their comments, their retweets, their mentions, with an existing Inbox 25/Sugar CRM record profile. So connecting profiles is very simple. I'm going to demonstrate how that's done here. Say, for an example, if I know Avada Companies is a new lead in my platform, a new lead in my CRM, or maybe Avada Companies is a new tenant of my space. I can hover over their platform or their name here, and I can see their engagement history. They have 2 mentions and they have 1 following. In this case, no retweets. Now, if I click on Link Profile to Target here, it's going to bring me up with an easy automatic search bar. And it's automatic in the sense that if I type 3 letters here, it's going to bring up an auto cue icon. So if I typed in James, for an example, it'll bring up all my records with James. And you can do this by the name of the record and also by the email address. So if you know one of those 2, you can easily find them. Now, if I click on Avada Companies here, and I click on Save Change, what it's going to do now is it's going to mark that record with an orange status, an orange bar. And this denotes that the record has now been connected to an existing profile within Inbox 25, and if you're using Sugar CRM, with Sugar CRM. Once the profiles are connected, any past and future social activity is going to be logged on their Inbox 25 Timeline Intelligence Report. Now, as you know, the Timeline Intelligence Report is an embedded report within all Sugar CRM leads, contacts, targets, and accounts. And from an analytics perspective, we're now treating social like any other digital medium, with complete transparency for both marketing and sales. as the sales agent, I can go into Sugar CRM, look at my assigned records, open up my timeline report, and amongst seeing this record's email opens, this record's landing page conversions, and this record's website visits, I can see all of the social engagement history this record has as well, in the form of their Facebook likes and comments, their mentions on Twitter, their new following, and their retweets as well. We're encompassing all of the benefits of social by streamlining it into one central hub and then passing all of the analytics back to our sales team or back to our team within Sugar CRM. And just as a side note, everybody, this webinar series does include a webinar dedicated exclusively to the Inbox 25 timeline report, which provides immense benefit to any organization using Inbox 25. Doesn't matter how you're using the platform, the Inbox 25 timeline report is a beneficial feature. So I highly suggest, if you have not signed up for that one already, to sign up for it. And then in summation and wrapping up today's webinar, I really want to review one more additional function within Social Connect, and that's going to be our Social Connect calendar. Now, your Social Connect calendar provides a clean, interactive calendar that displays each post along with its scheduled time. It's really a visual cue, a visual style to let the user know the frequency of their posts, and it makes post management much easier. You can see all of your previous posts, the ones that have been posted, are in gray, and all of your posts currently scheduled for deployment that have not gone out yet will be scheduled in green. The visual representation of this allows insight into posting frequency and also gives the user a streamlined view to gauge the ideal times of day for highest engagement and the specific days of the week that allow for that as well. So that being said, that's going to wrap up the live demonstration portion. I want to start answering some questions now. I'm going to open up my little chat bar here. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the chat bar below. And let's see here. The first one, do you have any plans for a Google Plus or Instagram integration? At the moment, no. We are focusing more on expanding our LinkedIn integration, which I assure you will be hearing about soon. So keep an eye out for that. Let's see. When Social Connect tracks URL clicks in social posts, can it tell who is known in the system? Okay, so this question refers to the way that we track URL clicks in social posts. It's actually a very phenomenal question, and I'm very glad you brought that up. Yeah, so the social tracking or the click tracking in Social Connect works based off Site Monitor. So if someone clicks on your social posts and we do have them as a known visitor on Site Monitor, then we will show them as a known visitor of who they specifically are within the URL tracking for social clicks as well. So that will be there for you. Okay, let's see. Is there a cap limit on the amount of social campaigns I can create? Nope, there's no cap limit. You can create as many social campaigns as you'd like, and we do promote, or we do encourage getting as specific as possible with your specific social campaigns, because you want to make sure that your campaigns represent relevant umbrellas of content. Can I include Inbox 25 forms with my social posts? And if someone converts, can I attribute that conversion to the post somehow? That's a good question. So yes, you can add forms to your social posts. We have a dedicated option in the posting menu or the posting editor. And then from there, you can add your URL. We'll shorten the URL for you and make it trackable. And then we will track the subsequent conversions and attribute those conversions to the specific social post that you have going. Is it now possible to delete social campaigns created erroneously? At the moment, we are working to be able to delete social campaigns after they've been posted in the system. Right now, we're still working on that functionality, so that's something to also look out for. Let's see here. Can you explain how to schedule the content on the calendar? Sure. So what you would do, the calendar works as, and this can go also to your second question, can you show more about the posting editor? Absolutely. So I'll get into the posting editor actually right now. So after you use the posting editor and then you post your content, that is where it's going to show up on the social calendar. So you actually wouldn't post content through the social calendar. What you would do is you'd post it through the editor from the social campaigns. It would show up on your social calendar. But if you wanted to edit posts that have not gone out yet, you can click on the post here and you can see the specific social post. In this case, we have a social post here that went out on the 5th of July, and of course I can't edit it because it already went out, but you can see here that I can view it. Yeah, I can surely break down the editor. Let's do that now. So getting to our dashboard here, and I'll break down the editor just a bit. Minimize that screen here. So you can see we have our social campaigns, and underneath our social campaigns, there's an option for a new post. So if you click on new post here, it's going to bring you up with your specific editor. Now the editor is very simple, pretty intuitive. All you have to do here is name your post. So whatever the content or whatever the relevant content you're putting on your social applications, you put a post name here for your own organization. Now, if you're posting to Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn, they all have their own individual profiles because all applications have different character limits. So if you're posting to Twitter, you click on your Twitter icon here and highlight that over. If you're posting to Facebook, what you would do for company pages is you'd click on your company or yourself here. In my case, this is me. And then you click on the specific company page you want to post to, and then click done. What this is telling the system is to now post to the Launchpad's company page as opposed to the personal profile which we had selected. And then what you do here is you type in your post. If you want to put any corresponding URLs, you can do that now. If you want to attach an Inbox 25 landing page, you can click on Embed Landing Page URL, and that'll bring you a drop down with your landing page URLs here, and you can automatically insert that. If you want to attach an image, you can also attach an image as well. Keep in mind there is a 2 megabyte cap limit. And then what you would do is you replicate that same post from Facebook. If you want to post to Twitter, just keep in mind that there is a 140 character limit on Twitter. And then from there, what you would do is you click on schedule your post, and it can go out at a very specific date and time. So maybe tomorrow at 1:40, I'd click on done and then schedule post, and that post would enter my queue. And I can access or can edit that post anytime between now and when it's posted. So if I want to change something or if I want to delete it, I can go ahead and do that. I hope that had answered your question. Do you have an application in the system like tinyURL? I'm going to guess you mean URL shortening. So when you post on Social Connect, we automatically shorten the URL for you and make that URL trackable. So I think it says clickonme.com. That's one of the that's the shortener that we give you. But we do track all of the clicks, and we'll shorten all of the URLs that are posted through social. So it really mimics that functionality. That's how we can track things like conversions on your landing page conversions on your social posts, and that's how we can also track clicks as well by having it shortened. And I'll take one more question here. Let's see. Can I resend a post with the same content I may have previously sent from Social Connect? Yeah, sure you can. You can definitely replicate the same content, or what you can do, if you know you're going to be using the same content in the system, you can also save a post as a draft and then use that draft over and over again. Although with social posts, they're usually shorter in nature, so you can just copy and paste it into a new post if you'd like. But yes, you can send the same content over and over again. Same thing you can do with email as well. Okay, so I think that wraps it up for today's webinar. Just a reminder, this webinar has been recorded and will be available later this week on our Knowledge Base and YouTube channel for further viewing. I would like to thank everybody once again for joining today's webinar. I hope you all learned something, and I definitely recommend joining the rest of our webinar series. Our first one, or our second one, will happen this Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern. And on that note, this has been James Verdi from Inbox 25. Thank you once again, and I look forward to speaking with you all soon. Bye.